Hello, in this video, we will introduce property binding. JavaFX uses property binding extensively, so it is worth to look at early now. JavaFX introduces a new concept called property binding that enables a target object to be bound to a source object. If the value in the source object changes, the target object is also automatically changed. The target object listens to the change in the source object. The target object is called a binding object or a binding property, and the source object is called a boundable object or observable object. So now we're going to have look at this example here, this show circle right here. So please note that we are going to have this show circle. It's going to be displayed always centered. So let me copy this code here. This is show circle centered. So I'm going to copy this into NetBeans. I'm going to create this new Java class is show circle centered. Okay. So I'm going to have this is show circle centered. Now, if you run this program, you're going to see if you resize this window, your circle is always centered. So how this can happen? So it's not a fixed here, it goes with the window. So we're going to use binding property is we create a circle right here. And now this circle center X property is bound with the pans width property divided by 2. It's in the center. And the height, now this is X property is bound with the pans height property divided by 2. So that is in the center. So this is the radius, and this is the color, a stroke color for the circle. This is the field with white. We add the circle to the pen, add the pen to the scene, and this is add the scene to the primary stage. So now launch it and show the primary stage. That's what you see. So this is the bind. So now back here now, you can see this is the bind. It's a target.bind. So all these properties in JavaFX are binding properties. So the binding properties, they have a special naming convention here. So this for the double value, you bind it with double value is bindable. So this double property, fruit property, long property, this is the boolean property. And so look at the code here. This is generic temp for this. If you have this class, this is the property X is, this is a binding property. So you will have this get X, it returns the property value. Set X, you're going to set a new value for the property. And this X property returns the property type. So look at this example for the circle in the JavaFX API. This X, center X is a double property. Get center X, get the double value for the center X. Set center X, you set a value. Now this is center X property returns a double property. So this double property, it is binding property. So let's write a test program for the binding. We have the property, this D1. So D1 is now, it's a double property. So we're going to create this this is new. So we're going to create this is a new simple property. So this is simple double property 1. And this is simple double property 2. So double property is itself is interface. So this is the concrete class. It's a simple double property 1 and simple double property 2. So these are the binding properties. Now I'm going to bind the D1 with D2. So if you change things in D2 and D1 is automatic changed. So now it means they are exactly the same. So D2 is 2 now, and D1 is not 1 now anymore. D1 is 2. So let's look at this now. We're going to set a new value to D2 is 70.2. Now let's see what is D1. D1 should have the same as D2. See, this is D1 and D2 would be the same. So this is binding property. That is all for the property binding in JavaFX. See you on the next video.